Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Now's the time to schedule your air conditioner service check with Bryant. Make sure it's ready to keep you cool and comfortable when you really need it. Call Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111.
At Cedars, we're here to make sure that kids have the safety and stability that every child deserves, where they're protected and where they feel safe. You make this possible. Today, more than ever, we need your support to be here for kids who have nowhere else to call home. Now through May 28th, make a big impact through Give to Lincoln. Give to Cedars now at givetolincoln.com.
Does someone in your household avoid phone calls because they can't hear clearly, or do they have difficulty speaking on the phone? Nebraska offers a solution. The Nebraska Specialized Telecommunications Equipment Program, or NSTEP, provides financial assistance for specialized devices like amplified phones, captioned telephones, smartphones with Bluetooth pairing to hearing aids, and speech-generating devices. If you're a Nebraska resident with a certified hearing or speech disability, you may qualify. It's not income-based, and once approved, you own the equipment. Learn more or apply at psc.nebraska.gov or call 1-800-526-0017.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Play ball! Some places just feel like home. In Lincoln, that place is Haymarket Park. For 25 seasons, it's where we gather with friends, with family, and our out-of-towners who want that same warm welcome. It's where kids catch their first foul ball, where we're all neighbors for at least 9 innings. Because when Salt Dogs fans root for our home team, there isn't a single stranger in the stands. So come one, come all, and let your local tradition play on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Don't ignore changes in your skin. Get them checked. May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and early detection could save your life. If you've noticed a new spot, a changing mole, or anything that doesn't look quite right, now is the time to act, not later. As you head into summer, protect your skin and stay proactive about your health. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they're here to support your care with advanced technology and a team you can trust, because catching something early can make all the difference. Advanced Medical Imaging, your partner in proactive health.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. It's been a busy day in sports. A lot has happened while you were up to your eyeballs in work. Catch up on what went down in Nebraska athletics, college sports, and your favorite pro sports leagues. This is Late Night in Lincoln, live on 93.7 The Ticket. Sponsored by Canopy Street Market. Here is your host, Nick Whyman.
Welcome in. It is Tuesday, May 26th of the year 2026. Nebraska baseball, Nebraska softball are still playing as the month will flip to June here, more than likely as well. Nick Whyman holding down Late Night in Lincoln live, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com, always from 11 p.m. to the midnight hour of the following day here in the capital city of Lincoln, Nebraska. I wasn't here yesterday, technically, for Late Night in Lincoln on a Monday. Usually see my face on the airwaves for not only Late Night in Lincoln, but also for All In with Caleb Smith, Ridge Lovett, Beyond the Lanes with Haley and Desiree, Nebraska Bowlers, Nebraska Take on Sports, Good Morning Personnel. We did have content, though, on Memorial Day. And my sleep schedule is a little thrown off now. I will admit, being here till midnight usually does that to you for obvious reasons. Some people can't do it. Some people can. And I have the privilege and lucky enough to have that kind of sleep environment. And, you have the young legs and everything to be able to do it. But yesterday was a really cool opportunity. If you're a breaker and you're still up, obviously early break from 6 o'clock to 9 a.m. We did have early break on Memorial Day, but the young backups stepping up. We had myself, Connor Krumey, and Rudy Gress IV filled in for early break. And, been here with the Ticket family for about almost 7 months now. It's crazy how fast time flies. And if you would have told me, hey, you, Rudy, and Connor are going to be on early break before, at some point in your life, crazy experience. And the breakers, I know it's a holiday yesterday. You're either traveling, going to the lake, enjoying the nice weather. It's feeling like summer once again here in the capital city in Nebraska. But the breakers gave us a chance at the end of the day. I know I probably took the overlay off yesterday during early break, and they probably saw me and said, who is this guy? I don't know who this guy is. And obviously don't look like Jake Sorensen, don't look like Bill Bush, or don't look like Steve Sipple. But if you ever have a chance, go back and watch it. It was really fun. We did the same. We did Shut Up Sipple with Connor versus Rudy. We had Song of the Day. Connor picked an amazing. We had, instead of Bill's Thrills, we had Connor's Ponders segment as well. We kind of did it all in itself, and it was a lot of fun. DP was on from 9 to 12. We had the selection show happened for the NCAA baseball regionals, where we found out where Nebraska will be playing at home at Hawksfield Haymarket Park for the first time since 2008. We'll talk about that in the show. We have a lot to talk about. Especially with the diamond sports from Nebraska, because I was lucky enough to be there covering the softball regional against South Dakota and Grand Canyon a prior week, but also lucky enough to make it back for the super regional games. It was fun in itself to be there and be a part of what Nebraska softball and that environment is. It was a wild place to be. Really cool to see Nebraska after that game, what that all went down and everything in its own glory, to see Nebraska softball not only beat Oklahoma State, but win in such a dominant fashion as well, which, I mean, on paper, I thought we were going to get some very competitive games with Jordy Fromm, Alexis Jensen going up against Ruby Malin of Oklahoma State, but Nebraska was able to jump on Malin, jump on the other Oklahoma State pitchers, and a really cool moment for them. Obviously, Jordy Fromm, Hannah Core, the Camden sisters, everybody in between, but you had Elena Felix come off the bench getting a big hit in that one. With bases loaded, Lauren Camden with the 3-run bomb in the top of the 5th inning to put Nebraska up by 8 at that moment. Crazy atmosphere in itself. So Nebraska softball, we'll talk about that here in this first segment as they are heading to the Women's College World Series for the first time since 2013. We have sound bites from yesterday. I was also, on Memorial Day, was out there at the Hawks Center to listen to head coach Rhonda Revelle and senior shortstop Ava Kuzak. Had a little things to say to the media. The very slim media is there. I know it was a holiday, but and as they say, sports takes no days off. So was able to be down there and see what Ava Kuzak and Ron Revelle had to say in the media scrum on Memorial Day before they head out to Oklahoma City for the Women's College World Series. We'll talk about that in selfie. You love to be part of the conversation as always and be a part of what you're doing here until the midnight hour. 402-464-5685 is the Sauter Heyman Jewelers text line, or if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Allo Channel 961, or listening on the Ticket app, which is free wherever you get your apps, on your app store, on your iPhone, or other devices. So we'll talk Nebraska softball. We'll talk Nebraska baseball as well, as they will be hosting a regional for the first time since 2008. Found out their destiny and who they're going to be with, who they're paired up with. There's obviously a little bit of conversation about toughest regional, and is Nebraska playing tough teams, and what's it going to take to get out of that region. We'll talk about that and the teams who are involving them. The NBA playoffs rage on. We saw the Knicks yesterday handle business, beating the Cavs. New York Knicks heading to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. I was 1 year old, less than 1 year old actually at that time when that happened. And OKC took Game 5 from a pivotal Game 5 from the San Antonio Spurs. We'll talk about that. And then we will do a quick segment of the Kansas City Royals. I'd like to move past that pretty quickly as a Royals fan. We can move quickly past the Royals getting dismantled by the Bronx Bombers tonight. It was such a lopsided game that Tyler Tolbert, a Royals utility player, came in to pitch, and the Royals gave up 24 hits. If you're giving up 24 hits in any level of baseball, you're probably on the losing end of that one. So we'll quickly go through that one. Then Memorial Day weekend was a fun sports weekend in itself. Obviously, we had Nebraska baseball, Nebraska softball, but look at the professional. You had baseball going on. The greatest day in motorsport happened on Sunday as well. You had the Coke 600. You had Daniel Suarez winning that on a weekend. Remembrance of Kyle Busch happened. You had, obviously, Formula One was in Canada. You had that go on. Kimi Antonelli winning that race. And then the Indy 500, one of the biggest races in the world, had a fantastic finish. Felix Rosenquist coming from behind to defeat David Malukas in that one. We'll talk a little bit about that one and why that one was so historic in itself, down to the wire. Now, an electric, to say the least, in Indianapolis there for that one. But Nebraska softball, winning 2 games against Oklahoma State in super regional play. They are heading off to Oklahoma City for the first time since 2013. Nebraska has been to 4 Women's College World Series under Rhonda Revelle. She is one of 3 coaches to lead the team to Women's College World Series in 4 different decades, just like she's won a conference title, whether that be the Big 8, the Big 12, or the Big 10 in 4 different decades as well. So Rhonda Revelle, this is a good segue. I think we can play a lot of the sound bites here in this first segment about what, what has been said about this program and what everything you remember from the past. So also with Rhonda Revelle, she has been involved in 7 of the Nebraska's 8 Women's College World Series trips. Revelle has been to 1 Women's College World Series as a player, 4 as a coach, and then associate head coach Lori Sipple has been to 2 as a player and 4 as a coach. So a lot of experience in Oklahoma City for Rhonda Revelle and Lori Sipple during their time with Nebraska. Nebraska has 2 players on the roster with Women's College World Series experience, with those 2 being Jordy Fromm and Hannah Cord during their time with Oklahoma. Fromm is a 2-time national champion, winning with Oklahoma in 2022 and 2023. And then Hannah Cord is a 3-time title winner with Oklahoma's softball program. She won in 22, 23, and 25. So a lot of experience down there as well. And there was things to say about what this from players. So this is a good segue to what Ava Kuzak spoke to the media yesterday. She talked about having that kind of experience with Hannah Cord and Jordy Fromm on the roster for this Nebraska softball team, and kind of like what changes once they get down to Oklahoma City. It's going to be a different atmosphere. It's going to be a very different ballpark. And Ava Kuzak, Nebraska's senior shortstop, talked about that yesterday with the media. So here is Ava Kuzak talking about that yesterday on Memorial Day, about the experience that Hannah Cord and Jordy Fromm have and what changes as Nebraska heads into the Women's College World Series.
Actually had them talk about it today, since they've had so much experience there. I mean, and they've succeeded there in those big, huge moments. So the biggest thing is just taking that environment in. And then after that 2 minutes of taking that all in, move on and just lock in on what we need to do. I think Hannah said it best was, we're not changing, but the place is changing. And all you have to do is focus on us, and we don't have to change a single thing about us.
I think the biggest thing from that soundbite from Ava Kuzak is, you obviously have the experience with Hannah Cord. You obviously have the experience of Jordy Fromm, but Nebraska's not changing. It's a different ballpark. You've played in different ballparks all year. This is a huge stage in itself, playing at in Oklahoma City for the Women's College World Series. And it's a very different field this year. You don't have an Oklahoma team. Nebraska's taking on an Arkansas team who is a kind of a mirror image of Nebraska too. And you have a lot of experience with 2 players on your roster, but a lot of unfamiliarity from the rest of Nebraska roster, which for Ava Kuzak, she talked about what it was like seeing this field and seeing the games at Oklahoma City, which she got to see as a fan. So here was Ava Kuzak talking about going to the Women's College World Series as a fan and now getting the chance to play as a player.
Yeah, the last time I went there, I was actually playing in a club softball tournament in Oklahoma that got rained out, and my grandparents took me and surprised me with tickets. So after that, my grandpa comes up and hugs me, and he's like, "We're going back." And I started bawling immediately, because that was the cutest thing ever. And he started bawling. He's like, "You literally sat there and were like, I want to play here." So that was kind of a cool moment, but I'm just excited to experience it on the other side. And I'm really excited to have all the girls be a part of it.
Yeah, so Ava Kuzak has not played in a Women's College World Series during her collegiate career. Obviously, with the 12 seniors on the roster, she's one of 12. That's really cool. The special moments that you are unrecognized and unseen and untold. She had that moment with her grandparents, was able to have a club game there, club softball, Reign Supreme. It's a huge facility down there in OKC. Didn't get the chance to play near that ballpark, but going to go with her grandparents for that moment. Now, full circle moment, you get the moment to go play and represent Nebraska and play some of the top teams, the top 8 teams, respectively, in the nation. regardless of ranking, because all 8 teams earned their way to get here. They all took lumps. They all took their wins, all took their losses, and now they're all meeting together in Oklahoma City. And with this Nebraska team, I think the biggest thing is they've played in big moments, whether that be on the road to begin the year against Texas Tech, whether that be in the Mary Nutter Classic in California, whether it's the Shriners Children's Open in Florida, whether it's the UTSA Invitational in Texas, whether it's at Bolden Stadium, whether it's the Big Ten tournament, whether it's super regional play. Nebraska's been able to play well in big moments and make big plays. And Ava Kuzak also talked about that yesterday. Here is Ava Kuzak talking about this team being ready for what's ahead, because they know every team that's there is a talented team in itself. But here was Ava Kuzak talking about playing in the big moments and continuing to control what they can control going to OKC for the Women's College World Series.
I think, especially after these past 2 weekends with how busy and how crazy our fan, like that entire amazing atmosphere has been, I think using that and having our routines, keeping those the same. I think we've harped on that throughout practice, and even that practice we have on Wednesday is showing up, having that practice and putting ourselves, and Jordy was like, put yourselves in those moments that you could see yourself in a game. And by the time that day comes, you've already kind of practiced in it. So I think practice, we've always just kind of always had a fast-paced practice to make us get our heart rates up, get us feeling like we're in a high-pressure situation, and then we're ready to play once it happens.
And Nebraska's played in a number of games that Ava Kuzak said. They played in those heart-throbbing games where it comes down to one little play. And Nebraska's been able to, even games when they're down. I mean, they were down to UCLA in the Big Ten championship game in College Park, Maryland, and were able to just be able to play in the moment, play in the big moments and get through there. And they were able to just continue to be Nebraska. You obviously have, as you continue to go through postseason play, the games get tougher and tougher. And that's just sports in general, as it just normally goes. And Kuzak continued to mention, what that means for them. And this team, they have the experience of Jordy Fromm and Hannah Core, who have played in these big games with Oklahoma during their prior tenure with the Sooners' softball program. Now things change. Now you're playing in the moment with Nebraska. You're playing teams who have some familiarity, Arkansas being one. Lauren and Hannah Kamens in it. Casey Hoffman one time were on the Razorbacks' softball team. And you're going down to Women's College World Series. We're going to have just a crazy environment in itself. The environment, it's going to, we saw what Bolin was. I was lucky enough to be there for the Oklahoma State, Nebraska Super Regional, and the environment was nuts. And after the game, if you were able to be there and be one of thousands of people to be a part of that, after the game, Ava Kuzak and company, when they were awarded the ticket that they ticket punched to the Women's College World Series, they took a lap around Bolin Stadium. They basically went around from wall to wall, from the outfield all the way around the left field to center to right, back down the first base line and back to home plate, and high five fans left and right. And that was a really cool moment. Ava Kuzak talked about what that moment meant, not just for her, but also for the fans and the turnout they had this past weekend at Bolin Stadium, as they head into Oklahoma City.
Amazing. I was tired after. I was huffing and puffing after sprinting around there. But we just wanted to say thank you to all those fans. They showed up every single day, and just to run around and see all of them cheering for us, they put all of their heart into that whole weekend. And it was really, really fun to just give some thanks to them for being amazing fans.
And to watch that in real time, whether that be the first inning of the rain delayed game, when the fans left and had to come back in, they were going to play at 10-10, decided that, hey, we're going to move it to tomorrow. They finished out game one. The fans even came back on Friday for that 4:00 game and came back to support Nebraska in that right. It's a quick turnaround. Fans didn't get out of there probably about 11 o'clock, midnight, turn around, and they were in line around 12:30 is what I heard. I saw people with lawn chairs, bringing lawn chairs out to Bolin Stadium while they waited in the long line that went all the way up to the road when you drive in over there by Hawksfield, Haymarket Park, and Bolin Stadium. And I think that's just an expectation of Nebraska fans, what they're able to bring, not just at Bolin Stadium, but in general. And Ava Kuzak, we have a couple more from her, sound bites from her. We'll move on to the Rhonda Revelle ones as the segment continues. Ava kind of talked about the expectation for the crowd at the Women's College World Series, because Nebraska is accustomed to going down to Oklahoma City. We saw with the men's basketball team what that takeover of Husker Nation was like down in OKC for the NCAA tournament for the men's side of things. Hopefully that people remember their reservations for hotels, because you have an opportunity to continue to do that and support this team. And Ava Kuzak talked about what the expectations, what she expects the environment to be like down there for the Women's College World Series and the support for Nebraska?
I'm expecting to see a lot of red, and I'm excited for it. And I think it's just going to be an amazing environment, and I just can't wait to take it in with all my girls.
And I think that's one of the biggest things for Nebraska is the team sees the impact the fan base has. It is one of the biggest things I think with this team, because that atmosphere at Bowling Stadium is up there with some of the best, whether that be at Pinnacle Bank Arena, whether that be at Hawks Field, Haymarket Park, which we will get into what that environment might look like Friday for their first game of regional play. But you can tell they really noticed what the impact of that is. So for Rhonda Revelle, we'll go to her. We have 2 sound bites from her. She talked about what she remembers from last time. Nebraska, it's been since 2013 when Nebraska went to the Women's College World Series, and it's a very different atmosphere, not only in Oklahoma City, but the sport in general of women's college softball in the NCAA Division I level. So here is Nebraska head coach Rhonda Revelle, and she talked about what she remembers from 2013 when she was the head coach the last time Nebraska softball qualified for the Women's College World Series.
That was super special too. I remember, we were the 14 seed that year when we were going to match up with the 3 seed, which was Oregon, which is my hometown. And I had never coached in my home state, let alone my hometown. And my dad was always my club coach. And, he'd been gone now for about 30 years. He's never seen me coach. So the spirit of him there in Eugene was really, really powerful. And so then when we won the first game and then we lost the second, that's when she turned right around and played the if game right then. And we qualified for the World Series. It was there was so much emotion. It was just like so emotional. And I remember we got to Oklahoma City and they were expecting Oregon to win, and they didn't have any t-shirts for Nebraska and they didn't have a Nebraska flag. So there were 8 poles and 1 was empty. They had 7 other teams' flags and they didn't have a Nebraska flag. So Alicia Armstrong, being the native Nebraskan that loves Nebraska, it became very personal to the team, but we tell some pretty good stories at alumni events about that.
They didn't have a Nebraska flag the last time Nebraska made the Women's College World Series, as they went up to Oregon, won the Super Regional there, and then made it there. You look at the history for Nebraska softball in this tournament. Nebraska is one of 4 softball programs to play in the Women's College World Series in each of the last 5 decades. That has been played in the 80s, 90s, 1000s, 2010s, and 2020s. The Huskers' best finish in school history is 3rd place, 1984 and 87. Nebraska finished 2nd in 85, but that result is vacated by the NCAA. Nebraska's last 7 games at the Women's College World Series, of note, which dates back to 1987, have been 1-run games. So the last 7 games for Nebraska during the Women's College World Series have been very competitive games. And I think that's something you're going to see potentially with this Nebraska-Arkansas game, because Arkansas is a mirror image of Nebraska. A very competitive team, a team who's been knocking on the door to get to this point as well, has been working hard for it. And you're going to get a Razorbacks versus Cornhuskers matchup Thursday night at 8:30, approximately 8:30. There's 3 more games before. We'll see where that one starts. But you have a mirror image game between 2 really good teams. And here was Rhonda Revelle talking about what she sees out of Arkansas, what she sees out of this matchup in game 1 for the Huskers against the Razorbacks in the Women's College World Series on a Thursday night.
Yeah, they're a really good team. They've been a really good team for a very long time. This is their first World Series, but they've been knocking at the door for several years. It starts in the circle with them. They've got a righty and they've got a lefty. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? Their lefty happens to be the older pitcher, but she's got an elite changeup. She spins the ball really well. And then they've actually got a righty, Peyton Burnham, who's from my hometown. So that's interesting as well. And then they've built a roster that up and down through the lineup they can hit. I mean, I said this about Oklahoma State, but I really feel this about Arkansas. I look at our teams on paper, and you just take away the names. Numbers wise, we match up really similarly, and so I think it's going to be a really, hard fought battle. A lot of respect for the coaches and how they'll prepare. I think it's going to come down to who executes more pitches in the moment.
And Rhonda talked about both teams are very similar. They have a righty and a lefty pitcher, just like Jordy Fromm and Alex Jensen. You take the names away, both teams are very similar in how they play. Both teams are very similar. Arkansas didn't win their conference, but they play in the SEC conference, which has a lot of teams who are making that trip as well to Oklahoma City. So like you mentioned, Nebraska has played some very competitive games dating back to 1987. The last 7 games have been one-run games during the WCWS. I expect that very close game against Arkansas. Both teams are very good in their own right. Both of their top 5 teams are getting a really good nightcap down there in the Women's College World Series. We'll bring you coverage of that one. Nick Standard's going to make the trip down there. Post-game coverage Thursday after the final out will be a late one, but it sounds like myself will be holding it down here at 1040 O Street. Nick Standard will be chiming in from OKC. So it'll be Nick at night times 2. It'll be a fun one. Before we go to break, we have a couple more moments. Nebraska softball was a little bit of news as well. Nebraska softball two-way player and team captain Jordy Fromm was recognized as the USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year. She was announced that this afternoon. Fromm was a top 3 finalist for the award last season and top 10 in 2022 and 2023. Fromm has helped Nebraska to the Big Ten regular season and tournament titles this season as 8th overall in the Women's College World Series appearance for the Huskers. She ranks in top 10 nationally in ERA, saves, shutouts, strikeout to walk ratio, strikeouts, and whip this season. That's a lot of pitching stats in itself. Jordy Fromm was the Big Ten Pitcher of the Year and has been named first-team All-American on both the Softball America and D1 Softball naming rights for that. She's looking to become just the 14th player ever to be named the 4th-time NFCA first-team All-American when those are announced tomorrow. So she might be the 14th player announced on those in its history, being a part of that. If the season were to end today, which it's not, they still got more games. Like I mentioned, Thursday, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, even in the next week, getting to that Women's College World Series final with its best 2 out of 3 series. So Nebraska has potentially a couple more games up their sleeve. Fromm would rank in the top 10 in program history in total bases. She'd be 2nd on that list. Slugging percent, she's 4th. Extra base hits, 5th. Run scores, she'd be 5th. Batting average, she'd be 6th. Home runs, she'd be 6th. Hits, she'd be 8th. And triples, she'd be 10th. So far, this 2026 campaign, Fromm leads the Big Red offense with a .416 batting average, 19 home runs. If she were to hit one more home run this season, which is very possible, we almost saw one in the Super Regional against OK State. Jordy Fromm would become the first Husker with multiple 20-plus home run seasons. Fromm also has 50 RBIs, 11 doubles, 59 runs scored. She has a slugging percentage of .827 and an on-base percentage of .511 with an OPS of 1.338. And that's just the offense numbers for her, for the Collegiate Softball Player of the Year. That's offense. That's offense. Defense, pitching's even crazier. In the circle this year for Jordy Fromm, she's 20-4 with a 1.14 ERA. Yes, a 1.14 ERA. And she has 12 saves to her name. Those 12 saves tie the Big Ten single season record. She has 8 solo shutouts and 3 combined shutouts and has struck out 234 batters and only walked 30 so far on the season. She obviously logged 16 strikeouts against Grand Canyon during regional play, which tied her career high and was the most by a Nebraska pitcher in an NCAA tournament game since the year of 2005, over 20 years ago. So Nebraska softball, they have Jordy Fromm, Hannah Kamenzen, Lauren Kamenzen, Hannah Core, Samantha Bland and company making the trip down there to Oklahoma City for the Women's College World Series. And we'll set the table for what that schedule looks like. We'll obviously be talking about it not only today, not only tomorrow, but also into the day when the tournament begins starting on Thursday. We'll talk a lot about that as well. There's plenty of things to talk about around that. There's some really good matchups too. If you look at the schedule and the bracket, how it all went down, you have a lot of very cool matchups and storylines to watch across the board. So the first game that day will start at 11 a.m. Central Time, all games Central Time. You'll have Mississippi State and Texas Tech facing off. Oklahoma getting upset by Mississippi State for the Bulldogs to make their first trip to the WCWS. They'll be taking on Texas Tech, who were the runner-up last year. And then after approximately 1:30, you'll get Tennessee, the 7th seed. They were there last year. They're taking on the defending national champions in Texas. They are the 2 seed. Following that game in the afternoon session, you will get UCLA, the second member from the Big Ten Conference, to make the tournament. They will be taking on the number 1 seed Alabama Crimson Tide. And then approximately around 8:30 on Thursday from Oklahoma City, you'll get number 5 Arkansas and number 4 Nebraska to wrap up day 1 of the Women's College World Series. So I'm expecting a lot of really close games. When historically Women's College World Series usually comes down to pitching and defense. And Nebraska has that with Alexis Jensen, Jordy Fromm across the board. And they're taking on a team with a very mirror image, as they said, from Rhonda Revelle and Ava Kuzak, who are very excited to see what the turnout is for the crowd. You obviously have baseball in the backyard here. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But I'm fully expecting a Nebraska takeover. You don't have Oklahoma there, who Oklahoma usually draws a very good attendance number. It's in Oklahoma City. For obvious reasons is why Oklahoma draws very well when they make the trip, which they've made it almost every year for a decade. And now this year, Mississippi State played spoiler and upset them. So you have that going down. But Nebraska baseball, hosting a regional for the first time since 2008. They have some interesting teams coming to town for that regional, Nebraska being one of the 16 host sites. We'll get into not only Nebraska, what on deck for them and what that could look like as they take on another team from just up north in the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. Those are two teams from Power 4 conference play from the Big 12 and the SEC coming to town. So we'll talk about Nebraska baseball on the other side. If you'd love to be part of the conversation, 402-464-5685, or if you're watching on our social media platforms, give us a chat and we will read those as we go on. Nebraska baseball hosting a regional, not a super regional yet, a regional for the first time since 2008. We'll talk about that later in a little bit after this break. Nick Whyman holding it down, Late 9 Lincoln Live, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This summer, Salt Dogs fans are making history at Haymarket Park. We're celebrating 25 seasons of grit, grins, heart, and hometown pride. Lincoln, you built this stadium. You named this team. And season after season, it's you, the fans, that keep us coming back for more. So let our thank you be our promise. The best is yet to come. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Right now in Lincoln, neighbors are facing hunger and homelessness, and they need our help. Your donation to Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach for Give to Lincoln Day helps provide nutritious meals, safe shelter, and life-changing support. Your gift goes even further thanks to matching funds from the Lincoln Community Foundation. Working together, we can make our community stronger by ensuring that everyone has access to nutritious food and a safe place to sleep at night. Give to Matt Talbot today or anytime through May 28th at givetolincoln.com.
Now's the time to schedule your air conditioner service check with Bryant. Make sure it's ready to keep you cool and comfortable when you really need it. Call Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111.
Now's the time to lock in the best deal of the year on a new John Deere sprayer during Landmark Implement's Sprayer Early Order Program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray. Target weeds with precision and cut herbicide use. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Don't forget, secure early order savings and get the sprayer that maximizes every pass. Visit your Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
A single mom of 3 was facing eviction, struggling with a recent separation, health issues, and no job or childcare. She feared losing everything, especially her children. But then she found support in her community made possible by Nebraska Children and Families Foundation. She was connected to support. By the end, her bills were paid, she loved her new job, and hope replaced fear. This is what the Nebraska Children and Families Foundation does. They lift up young people and families so they can find stability, build brighter futures, and power a stronger workforce. Ready to help make more stories like this come true? Support the Nebraska Children and Families Foundation on Gift to Lincoln Day.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country. with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100, or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet, GMC, and Chevrolet. And GMC Truck Month is here. Absolutely huge discounts and 2.9% for 72 months. I also just wanted to share a little bit more about the Coppell family. They've been serving the Omaha and Lincoln and surrounding communities for over 50 years with great customer service and small-town charm. That's always been our motto, and we absolutely will not be undersold. It truly is confident buying and confident driving. So come on in, meet the team, check us out at Coppell or at CoppellCars.com. All deals with approved credit.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Nick Whyman.
Welcome back. Late Night Lincoln Live. Nick Whyman holding it down here for another half hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. As always, you can listen to me from 11 p.m. to the midnight hour Central Time as we cap off the day here on 93.7 The Ticket. The closer, they may say, is what I am here holding it down. We have 18 hours of programming starting at 6 a.m. leading up until the midnight hour, and they bring me out of the bullpen to record a 3-out save when needed, which is 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. You also catch me on Saturdays holding it down here as well and filling in from time to time. I was on Old School earlier, 3 to 4. Fun time as well with Austin to help out there. And then Into Pit was today, Into Pit with Grant Wistrom and Jason Peter. Be able to check that one out. Check it out on our YouTube, anywhere you get your podcasts as well. Really cool to see the insight between those two. Obviously, former Husker football players in its own right. Grant Wistrom, his time in the NFL, playing with the Rams. Some really cool stories, some really funny stories. Episode 1 was a banger, they may say, but it will continue on every Tuesday, 4 to 6 o'clock in the Pit. Grant Wistrom and Jason Peter. So we talked about Husker softball for a long time. Stick on the diamond, just across the parking lot from Bowling Stadium, Hawksville Haymarket Park. This Friday, first game for Nebraska baseball with a regional host site for the first time since 2008. Nebraska earned the number 13 seed nationally during Monday's selection show. We were here live during that official announcement on the ESPN selection show. Nebraska welcomed Ole Miss, Arizona State, and South Dakota State into Lincoln this weekend for regional play. The regional appearance for the Huskers is the 20th all-time, including the 4th under head coach Will Bolt. Top seed in the regional, Nebraska will take on the 4th seed South Dakota State. That game will begin with the first pitch on Friday, 3 p.m. Central Time over at Haymarket Park. Also included in the field are number 2 Ole Miss and number 3 Arizona State. And the Sun Devils and the Rebels will play at 8 p.m. on ESPNU that evening. Nebraska game will be on ESPN+. The Lincoln Regional is paired with the Auburn Regional, which features the number 4 seed nationally, Auburn, UCF, NC State, and Milwaukee. The regional winners will advance next week to Super Regional action. Location for that is to be determined. The highest seed out of the two, the 4 seed 1 and the 13 seed, whoever moves on across the board. Tickets went on sale today. I saw they are sold out. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. We saw what the softball one is like. We see what it's like for this one. Not entirely surprised. Hawksville Haymarket Park, curious what that looks like, because we know that place can get packed. We saw the USC series, what that was like when Nebraska swept the Trojans. What is it going to look like standing room only? I was in like 1st or 2nd grade the last time Nebraska goes to the regional. I vividly remember seeing the game. I don't remember really taking it in and seeing what it was like. But this is going to be awesome to see. I mean, you have softball. I know Husker fans, I trust them to figure out how they're going to watch both, because you're going to have a really cool weekend, whether that be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even bleeding into next week, potentially Sunday or Monday with the, if necessary, game for Nebraska baseball against potentially in a regional final. Could have it done on Sunday, but then you have Husker softball, who could be playing into next week as well in Oklahoma City. Husker fans are going to have to choose where they want to go. Do they watch it on? Do you want to go to Bowling or not Bowling? Do you want to go to Haymarket Park and watch the softball or the baseball? Or do you want to go down to softball and make the trip down to Oklahoma City to watch the Women's College World Series? Or are you going to sit at home and potentially double box, have two TV set up, have the laptop, have the double box TV set up, have the double screen, however you want to watch it. I trust Husker fans to figure out a way to catch the action in a way they can enjoy and be able to sit back and relax this weekend and watch Husker baseball and Nebraska softball do their thing, whether it's in Haymarket Park or Oklahoma City. So looking into this region, we'll do a bigger deep dive, I would say, probably Thursday. Thursday we'll have the softball post-game show, probably, depending on the timing. Late night in Lincoln may not happen on Thursday because we might be jumping in right at 11 o'clock for post-game coverage. If that doesn't happen, I think tomorrow night we'll do a very big deep dive into who these teams are and who they are and what they're all about for regional play. We'll also do a deep dive into Arkansas as well. We'll promise that for tomorrow night. We'll do a deep dive Women's College World Series and Lincoln Regional Baseball deep dive. But we're gonna scratch the surface. We'll do the tip of the iceberg. We'll go into that bottom of that iceberg tomorrow. So you look at the teams in the regional, the records and everything like that. So Ole Miss coming in, the Rebels play in the SEC Conference. Obviously, they're 36-21 on the season, with 15-15 in the SEC Conference. Neutral site, they were not great. They were 2-4 on the road. They only won 7 road games this year. At home, though, they were very good, playing in Oxford, 27-7 across the board. So they're going to be coming to Lincoln. And Ole Miss, they have a nice fan base. SEC team, and it's all right. They play some tough teams all year. 15-15 in the conference. Played Florida, Mississippi State, Arkansas, ton of teams. Tennessee, some teams who are down this year. Georgia, Alabama. They played some tough teams. But I'm curious what they're going to look like here at a neutral site when they're playing Arizona State, which Arizona State, 37-19, another solid team. Conference in the Big 12. They went 19-11, 23-9 at home. On the road, they were 12-8. Neutral site, just like Ole Miss, where they're going to be playing a neutral site game against the Rebels. 2-4. Both teams 2-4 neutral sites. Well, one team's got to win on Friday night in that matchup between the Sun Devils and the Rebels, which is funny because Arizona State did open their season at home. They played Omaha. They played a team from Nebraska, not Nebraska, but they swept the Mavericks to begin the season. You look down the rest of the schedule, they did play Oklahoma. They played Arizona, TCU, Kansas State, obviously teams from their conference. West Virginia, another really good team in its own right. Some other teams down the line, UCF, who's obviously on the other side in the Auburn Regional, played the Pokes, Oklahoma State. Cincinnati capped off their season. They lost West Virginia in the Big 12 tournament 7-3, and now they're going to be coming here to Lincoln for that first pitch at 8 o'clock on Friday. And then the team that Nebraska will be playing, South Dakota State, 24-31. The record does not jump off the board. I feel like we've said this before. We saw South Dakota softball come down here and play Nebraska, and it was a competitive game. South Dakota really turned some heads and won their first game in program history, both from the Summit League. Their conference record, 12-15 total in Summit League, 4-2 neutral sites. On the road, they only won 10 games. They were 10-23. And then at home, they were 8-6 on the season. So they took their lumps throughout the season. These two teams did meet in March 4th in a midweek game between Nebraska and South Dakota State. Nebraska won that game 4-5 back on March 4th, where Nebraska put up a 3 spot in the first, added another run in the second, and then South Dakota State did chip away with 2 in the 5th and 2 in the 8th. But Nebraska really kind of held momentum from the start as they took control in that one. Tucker Timmerman, Bryce Bender got the start in that one, 4 innings. Tucker Timmerman out of the bullpen with 2. Colin Novacek ended up pitching an inning in a third, and then Kevin Mantle came out of the bullpen, record the final 5 outs to give Nebraska that win. So familiarity, yes, and Nebraska has played them a lot, whether it be this year or even in the past. But Nebraska got that 5-4 win way back in March, and then from there out, Nebraska ended up winning and giving themselves a chance to host. Summit League tournament for the South Dakota State team, beat Oral Roberts, Northern Colorado. They did lose then to Oral Roberts, but they ended up capping off a winner-take-all game on Saturday this past week, winning 9-6 to beat Oral Roberts in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in a neutral site game to punch their ticket to a regional. So they are 24-31. RPI doesn't jump off the board, but Nebraska should have enough to beat a team like that. But as we've known in regional play, there's upsets happen. You have to come to play regardless of what happens across the board. You got to be prepared for it. Regional play is weird. Baseball is one of those sports where it's not like football where you get to a playoff and you get a James Madison, Oregon situation. There are games like that, yes. March Madness, we've seen less upsets. College baseball is kind of chaotic in regional play. That's any of these sites. UCLA is the number 1 seed. You're going to have teams in there who are going to find a way. Kansas won. The Kansas region, Kansas and Arkansas playing each other. You have Missouri State down there in Lawrence, too, and Northeastern, who's been a team who's been scratching at the surface. They've given teams trouble in regional play. That's one of the tougher regionals. Is the Nebraska regional tough? I would say yes, but I don't think there really is such thing as an easy regional for baseball. All of them are tough in their own right. One of my favorite regionals, I will say, to watch will be the Eugene one. Oregon, they're the number 11 seed. They're one of the 3 Big Ten teams to host, with Nebraska being the 13, UCLA being the number 1 overall seed in postseason play, and then Oregon is the 11. Might be my favorite regional because you have Oregon at the 1, and you have Oregon State and Washington State playing one another, and then Yale. Yale's the Ivy League representative. Okay, but the outlier, Oregon, Oregon State, Washington State, what they all have in common, the Pac-12. The Pac-12 lives on. You'll get that Pac-12 after dark, potentially Oregon State, Washington State. Winner of that potentially playing Oregon. Maybe the loser of Oregon gets upset by Yale. You get a Pac-12. Oregon State, Oregon playing one another. A rivalry game on the diamond in postseason play. And Oregon State, I mean, they're not in a big conference anymore because the Pac-12 is very, divided. Not a thing anymore in baseball. But you get Oregon State, Oregon. There's some bad blood because of how that conference broke up. You're going to get that matchup. You obviously get it in football now as a non-conference game, but now you get that matchup potentially in baseball. That's a fun one on the board. USC going to College Station, take on A&M in that one as well. That's a fun one. There's some really cool matchups we could see. Coastal Carolina's in the one with Tallahassee with Florida State down there. Coastal Carolina's obviously won the College World Series back in the 2010s. Wake Forest in with West Virginia, Kentucky as well in that one. Georgia Tech and Oklahoma paired up in Atlanta. There's some fun matchups across the board. Tuscaloosa, you have Oklahoma State down there as well. Chapel Hill one with East Carolina, a team who's hosted regionals in the past. You have Tennessee. Obviously, they're a little bit down, but they're still a solid program in itself. And North Carolina in Chapel Hill, that's a very fun regional. We should get some good games. Friday is a day where if you can have a double box, a triple box, even a quad box, you're able to watch a lot of these games. It should be a fun one. And quickly, before we cap off this segment, I want to quickly move over the Kansas City Royals side of things of what's been happening. So the Royals yesterday, Memorial Day, they lost 4-3. They had the lead in after a Bobby Witt Jr. home run. Lucas Erceg comes in, and the Yankees get a big hit to scratch and claw to win 4-3 on Memorial Day, steal that one from the Royals in Game 1. Well, tonight's game, not as dramatic, not as close. The Yankees put up 4 runs in the first, 1 in the second, 4 more in the third to take complete control. It wasn't done there. They added another run in the 5th, another in the 7th, 2 more runs in the 8th, and 2 more runs in the 9th inning. I mentioned all those numbers. Yankees defeated the Royals 15-1 today. Yankees finished with 15 runs on 24 hits and no errors. Royals finished with only 1 run to their name, 6 hits and no errors. So an ugly game for the Royals in this one. It was not pretty from the jump. You obviously had Ahmed Rosario. He had 4 hits, drove in 4 runs for the Yankees. Aaron Judge had an RBI in that one as well. Trent Grisham as well. Cody Bellinger driving in 3 runs in the way. Anthony Volpe as well with 2. A lot of RBIs across the board for the Yankees. Not pretty for the Royals. The Royals only 1 run in this one, that coming on a Bobby Witt Jr. hit. It was a solo home run. Bailey Falter pitched. He only pitched 2 1/3. 9 hits, 7 earned runs, no strikeouts, no walks. ERA up to a 13.97. Had to, check my eyes to make sure I read that correct. Bullpen, Lunder Avia came out and tried to weather the storm in 3 innings. He gave up 3 runs. He's up to a 5 ERA. Steven Cruz also got knocked around for a run. Eli Morgan came in, pitched an inning as well. And then I have to check my eyes on this one too. Tyler Tolbert pitched, the utility player for the Royals. He came in to save the bullpen inning. In his inning of work, for anybody who cares how Tyler Tolbert fared on the mound, an outfielder and a third baseman for the Royals, he had an inning. He gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, walked a batter, no strikeouts, but he threw 30 pitches, threw the same amount of pitches as Eli Morgan in this one. But Hopefully the last time Tyler Tolbert is on the mound this season with a 10.8 ERA. Hopefully we don't have to see Tyler Tolbert pitch for the Kansas City Royals going forward. So we did have a texter chime in about the Royals earlier today. Caveman in New York. It's a message for Jake Sorensen. Well, Jake Sorensen will be on the air here in about around 6 a.m. in about a little over 6 hours. Hey, Jake, the Yankees still the Royals' daddies. Gotta love playing the Royals when you need a few wins to get back on track. Start spreading the news. New York, New York. Caveman in New York says. I'm not going to disagree with you. The Royals have struggled against the Yankees, whether that be in Yankee Stadium or whether that be in Kauffman. Since 1995, I have this stat pulled up here. Jared Kohler posted on his social media. So since 1995, the Royals are 67 and 170 against the New York Yankees. Kansas City's won the season series one time, with that being the last time 26 years ago. Only won the season series one time in the last 26 years. 67 and 107. That's not a good record against the Yankees. The Royals have struggled mightily against them, regardless if that's played in the Bronx or whether that's played down in Kansas City. So they're not going to win this series. I'll tell you that. 15-1, and now when the Royals are going to need to find a way to wipe the slate clean for tomorrow's series finale as they play tomorrow night. 6:40 first pitch on that one between the Royals and the Yankees. Noah Cameron scheduled to be the starter for the Royals. Garrett Cole, so the Royals will face another solid pitcher in that one before they make the road trip to Arlington to take on the Texas Rangers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you can always listen to the Royals, home of the Royals here, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're able to listen to those Royals games here. So hopefully you made it through that 15-1 game and you're ready for more tomorrow. 6:40 for that one. Friday's game, 7 o'clock. You'll have Stephen Kolek going that way with Mackenzie Gore going for Texas. And you have Seth Lugo pitching against Kumar Rocker 3:05 on Saturday. And then Sunday's game, you'll have Michael Wacha going up against Jack Leiter at 1:35 for that one. Before the Royals then turn the attention to Cincinnati to take on the Reds at the Great American Barbell. Big road trip coming up here to begin the month of June. You have the Texas to end May. You have Cincinnati for 3 games. Then you have a 4-game set against Minnesota. The Royals are going to play some catch up. They are not great right now, sitting at 22-33, fourth in the AL Central. So on the other side, we're going to wrap up the show with some NBA news. A couple things come up here at the Ticket, and the Indy 500. I haven't talked about it on the air. I talked about it a little bit on early break yesterday, kind of what that entails, because it was one of the closest in history, and it was very, it was cinema, as they say. Nick Whyman, Late Night in Lincoln, 94.7 The Ticket.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Fight fans! Dynasty Combat Sports returns to the Pinnacle Bank Arena on Friday, May 15th for an action-packed night of cage fights. In the main event, UFC veteran Derek Minner makes his bare-knuckle MMA debut against Eduardo Peralta. In the co-main event, undefeated bare-knuckle boxer Nate Morrow faces Missouri's Ira Lukowski, plus Lincoln favorites Sean Lindgren, Jeremy Small, Victor Badola, and Camden Golden. All part of a stacked 16-fight lineup. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster or the Arena box office. Fight card subject to change.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Nick Whyman.
Welcome back. Late Night in Lincoln live. Nick Whyman. Quick segment here before we cap off this Tuesday. My leak is really thrown off. I keep thinking it's Monday. That's what happens when you have a holiday in its own right, what happens. So a lot of really cool things going on here at the Ticket. We'll get into that here in a second. But to cap off the show, we saw the New York Knicks yesterday. Finished off the Cleveland Cavaliers, heading to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. A lot of things weren't around then. iPhone, a lot of different things. Social media with the Twitter and everything. I think MySpace was big back then. But the Thunder are 1 win away now. Thunder winning 127-114 tonight over the San Antonio Spurs in Oklahoma City. SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 32 points, 9 assists in that one to defeat the San Antonio Spurs. So the Thunder are 1 win away from potentially defending their crown in the NBA championship game. As the Spurs, the series will shift back to San Antonio, and we'll see what that entails for the Spurs. That game then happening on Thursday. No game tomorrow due to the Knicks moving on. Quickly, the Indy 500 is a race. You don't have to be a big racing fan. Everybody knows what the Indy 500 is for the IndyCar series. Felix Rosenqvist winning that race. If you were able to see it, go on social media, find the final lap with the shootout between him passing David Malukas right at the end. It was really exciting. You don't have to be a racing fan to watch that. Give it a shot. Will Buxton had a very cool call of the final ones. Obviously, James Hinchcliffe and Towson Bell didn't overtalk the play-by-play guy and let him kind of do his thing. And he had a fantastic call across the board for there. So that is all I have for this evening. Before we get out of here, a reminder, we will be at Cedars, Matt Talbot, and we'll have some things here on Thursday for Give to Lincoln Day. Give to Lincoln Day is this Thursday, May 28th. It will be at Cedars at 60th and Pioneers all morning and early afternoon. And we appreciate your donation to givetolincoln.com on behalf of Lincoln Community Foundation. In 2024, Cedars asked for your help and built something special with Cedars Activity Center, which is now a thing and a great place for kids, all because of you and your support. In the last year, Cedars served over 2,000 kids, and families provided over 120,000 nights of care. Help keep Cedars going with your donation, which you can do or wait until May 28th at givetolincoln.com. Search for Cedars. So exciting things going on. Give to Lincoln Day will be huge. Free coffee tomorrow, 7:15 here at the Mill at 1040 O Street. Free drip coffee, 7:15 to 9 a.m. So a lot of things going on here at the Ticket. Should be exciting times. Been a really busy time, but a really fun time. Nick Whyman signing off. We'll see you tomorrow on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.